Hello, everybody. Um, I've had some people on YouTube to ask me about Elisa Baker. I did a video about Elisa Baker. As you know, that's Zara Baker's stepmother. Elisa Baker has been charged with the murder of Zara Baker. I think she was officially charged last week. Now, you know Elisa Baker has been married 7 times, and I think only divorced 3. So, along with check fraud, bigamy, she's now being charged with murder. So she'll probably be going away for a long, long time. Her husband, Adam Baker, actually lived in Australia with Zara. That's where they're from. And came to the United States when he met Elisa Baker online. And so he, not only did he leave the state for the woman that he loved, he left his country and came here. He's not been charged. Not sure where I stand on that one, you know. I mean, they said that she is the one who put the ransom note on the card. Yes, I know that. So she lied to the police. But now, didn't he lie to the police too? I mean, didn't he start a fire in the backyard and then call the police? And weren't some of Zara's clothes found in the ashes of that fire? But they've not said anything else on the news about that. So I'm not sure why he's not been charged with anything. He almost had to know something was happening. And now, unless he was out of town when all this happened, I don't think she could have committed that murder alone. Put the child in the bathtub, dismembered her body, cut her up, put her in bags, hauled her out to the car, drove her and spread her body over 2 counties, which is where they found her remains in 2 different counties. Came home, cleaned the house, cleaned up all the blood and the evidence by the time he got home from work that day. That couldn't happen. So he almost had to be out of town if he did not play a role in this. But enough about that, and I'll talk more about that when I hear some other news. What's in the news today is an 11-year-old boy in Colorado that has ADHD. He was seeing a therapist, and his therapist told him, rather than to act out his anger when he became angry and frustrated, to draw it on a piece of paper. So in school one day, I guess he became angry and frustrated, and he drew it on a piece of paper. He drew him as a stick figure and some stick figure people over here. And in this picture, he was the stick figure holding a gun. And these stick people over here, he had words on it that said, "Teachers, they must die." So he was drawing a picture of him shooting and killing teachers while he was sitting in the classroom. The teacher was alarmed, you know, and rightfully so. She was alarmed, and so she took the picture to the principal. The principal called the boy's parents. The parents explained to the school that his therapist told him to do that, to draw out his feelings and emotions on paper. So the principal didn't feel that the child was a threat and sent the child back to the classroom. Well, later that evening, the police show up at the child's house, and they arrest the child, take the child to the police station in handcuffs. And the boy's mother is obviously upset. She said, "If you have to arrest him, can I please drive him down there myself? Can I be with him?" They told her no. Well, he was released later on that night, you know, back to his family. Now, a lot of people, this has been the question on Facebook, and a lot of people said that this is going to scar that child for life and that the police had no right to arrest him. And if the principal said that there was no danger, then obviously the child should have, you know, nobody should have called the police. They're not really saying who called the police. Somebody called the police. Was it the teachers that called the police? Was it the principal that called the police behind everybody's back? But it had been between a teacher and the principal, somebody at that school. Or maybe a classmate could have gone home and told their parents what had happened. One of their parents called the police, because it's like this for me. If my children at that age were in that school with that child, I think I would have called the police. I would have called the police and told them what happened at school. People are on the child of this 11-year-old boy, and I'm on the fence on this one. The police, no, they shouldn't have came to his home and put him in handcuffs and took him off without his parents. They shouldn't have done that. But at the same time, I'm not really sure what they should have done, but something needs to be done, because if they did nothing, and then let's say a couple years down the road, he acts out, out of anger and decides to take a gun to school and shoot somebody, then it's going to be all over the news, and people are going to be saying, well, he drew a stick figure of him killing teachers when he was 11 years old. Why was nothing done then? That's what they would be saying. That was a cry for help. Why didn't they do anything then? That's exactly what people would be saying. And so now that they are trying to do something about it, people are jumping down their backs for doing anything, because they're saying he's 11 years old and he doesn't have a criminal history. 11 years old, people are not born with criminal histories. They develop, they form. And most of the time, when it's issues like that, it is in the early teens. I say something needs to be done. And I also say, instead of letting the child go back to school until this is resolved, he should be homeschooled. He should be homeschooled. People say, well, his therapist is the one who told him to do this. His therapist did not tell him to draw stick figures with guns killing teachers. His therapist told him to draw out what he was feeling, to put his emotions on paper. Now you got to stop and ask yourself, why was that what his emotion was? Why is killing teachers what was going through that child's mind? So, until this whole thing is resolved, I say the child needs to be homeschooled. And it's been all in the news. I'll keep you updated on what all goes on with that case. And we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's about all I got to talk about right now. And until next time, bye-bye.